Good morning, Year 1. Welcome to Composting 101. So we know that yesterday we learned about all the different ways that we can be sustainable and look after the environment, what we're already doing at school, our work with the recycling bins and our Waste-Free Wednesday, how we can reduce and reuse things in our own school environment. And today we're going to have a bit of a close look at one of those elements that we didn't really touch on yesterday, which is composting. So how we can recycle old food scraps to create nutrient-rich soil, which we can then reuse to help fertilize new plants and make new things grow, as opposed to just throwing our food scraps directly into the bin where they're going to go to landfill. After this presentation today, I'm going to ask you to design a poster that we can use and Mr. Schuster could use around our school to convince the children to put their food scraps into the compost bin. So you might want to include how composting works, what sort of things you can put into the compost bin, where we will use it, like on our native garden and all of our beautiful plants that we have, and any other ways you can think of about how composting helps the environment. So let's dive into the slideshow today, but keep that in mind, that's what we'll be doing after. So what is compost? Compost is decomposed organic material such as leaves, grass clippings, and kitchen waste. It provides many essential nutrients for plant growth and therefore is often used as fertilizer. Compost also improves soil structure so that the soil can easily hold the correct amount of moisture, nutrients, and air, and that's all going to help our plants to grow. So local microorganisms and insects can transform food and garden waste into rich, healthy, sweet-smelling compost. A handful of compost can contain 1 billion microorganisms. So why should we compost our food waste? Well, there are many benefits to composting. Reduction in garbage volume, so that's the things that are going into landfill. We have that really nutritious, nutrient-filled fertilizer that cuts back on us having to use chemical fertilizers for our plants. It improves the soil aeration and drainage. It helps us control our weeds, and it decreases the cost for watering your garden regularly. So now, I'm just going to drag my face over there. We're going to watch a video that can help us explain composting a little bit clearer.
We are going to teach you how to compost at your school.
What is compost? Compost is a pile of green organic matter, like food, garden waste, or manure, that has been mixed with brown organic matter, such as leaves, straw, or wood chips. Over time, the compost pile decomposes or breaks down into soil. Billions of tiny creatures help with this breakdown, including worms and fungus, and bacteria. Compost is very rich in nutrients and can be used in gardens and fields to grow crops and to heal soil. And why should we compost?
Compost helps our world so it doesn't be all just loaded with trash.
Garbage doesn't get used like compost does because garbage goes into a big pile wherever that is.
These piles are called landfills. When you throw your food into the garbage, this is where it ends up. Landfills seriously affect our planet's air and our water. When sent to a landfill, leftover food, also known as food scraps, will produce a gas called methane. Methane is a powerful greenhouse gas that goes into our air and contributes to global warming in a big way. Greenhouse gases trap the sun's heat in our atmosphere and warm up our planet. Hotter temperatures can lead to melting ice caps, rises in sea level, and animals losing their homes. There is a lot of water in food, and when food scraps are put into the landfill, the water from the food combines with all the other items in the landfill to create a toxic sludge called leachate. Leachate can leak into groundwater and get into our rivers and lakes, harming the creatures that live there and dirtying the water that we drink or swim in. When we compost our food scraps, instead of sending them to the landfill, we reduce both the amount of methane and leachate created, but also we conserve space in our limited landfills. In short, composting is much better for our planet.
So there you go. Some really interesting information there on why composting is so important. And of course, it's saving all that space in our landfill. We shouldn't be sending anything to landfill that we don't have to. So composting is a really great way that we can reuse all of those food scraps. Moving on. So garden composting is what we have started at Balgala Heights. Now this link I will put in your program so you can watch that video if you wanted to. But I think that this poster explains it really well. Composting for kids, which is what we're doing in our school. So our bins look like this one on the left-hand side here. They are the big composting bins. So of course we start here eating our yummy fresh food, and then when we're finished we produce those food scraps. We throw them into the special bin, which of course is combined with sort of wood chips and some dirt. Even you could put some paper towels in there to help break up those food scraps. We also add water into it, and over time what happens is the food scraps can decompress into a really healthy soil, and that soil is called compost. And then we use that compost to help make healthy food grow. We can help use it in our native gardens to make our native plants grow, our rosemary bushes to help them grow. Even all down on our play area, we can use that compost soil to help things grow. So that's a really simple way of looking at our composting. So let's now have a look at what different things we can put in the compost bin. So green material is the nitrogen-rich fresh material that includes fruit, veggie scraps, apple cores, banana peels, grass clippings, fresh weeds, coffee grounds, tea leaves, and even chicken feathers or chicken poo. Brown materials include dry leaves. So we use that like from straw from animal bedding. We could use wood chips, shredded paper, ripped up egg cartons, and all of those sort of dry material to help break up that the food waste as well. So we need a little bit of both in our compost. Some things not to compost are meat, fish, and animal fats, any dog and cat waste, and sawdust from treated lumber or timber, because they can have some harmful chemicals in there. I don't think we have very much of that at school anyway, so that's not a big thing to worry about. So, of course, you can see over here the BHPS compost bin has the green lid, and at Balgala Heights, we are lucky enough to have our sustainability monitors who empty that bin each day, and then they check the other bins to check that the rubbish has been placed in the right spot. So that's also why it's really important that any food scraps and waste we are not putting in the red bin. We are making sure that it goes in our green organics, the organics bin, the green bin. So where are our bins? You might like to include this on your poster. We have the bins on the Western campus, so you might have gone to see them. We also have them on our Eastern campus in our native garden area, and they are in Area A. So see if you can get over there and have a visit next time we are able to head to school, visit the ones on the west side. But we, of course, have them in our native garden. So let's do it. At Balgala Heights, we're committed to sustainability to make the world a better place. These are some great little lines you might like to include in your poster for Mr. Schuster to use. By composting food scraps, we're contributing to one of the most important natural cycles on Earth. It's such a simple act, but it makes such a huge difference. Healthy soil equals healthy people. So your job now is to go and make that poster. Remember, we want to convince as many people at school to put their food scraps in the bin, why it's important, how they can do it, where they can find those bins, and how it's going to protect our environment. Okay, you one, good luck with your poster, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much for listening today.